Hi guys, it's Kasha and welcome to my 13-week bump date. I have one more week, the way I'm counting it, in my first trimester. Different things say, some places say second trimester starts 13 weeks, others say it starts at 14. I'm going with 14, so I basically have one more week in my first trimester. The baby is about 3 inches long this week, which is crazy to me. It's about the size of a kiwi fruit or sweet peach. What, about like that? Crown to rump, so that doesn't include the legs. That's crazy. And more exciting for me, since I'm a type 1 diabetic, is that this is the week that the baby starts producing its own insulin. So what that means is that it's not as crucial. I'm not saying it's not crucial to keep my blood sugars normal, but it's not as bad for the baby if I have an occasional high blood sugar, because now it has its own insulin that it can use. If the blood sugar inside the fetus goes high, it can start using its own insulin now. So it's kind of a sigh of relief week for me, because at some point this week the baby will start making its own insulin, something its mother cannot do. So oddly enough, I've actually had more pregnancy symptoms this week. I've been saying all along that I've had a pretty easy first trimester, and I totally have. I still have. But this week, although previous weeks my symptoms had disappeared, this week they seem to be coming back. Like, oddly enough, I've had a little bit of nausea. Like, it's still not much, and I'm not complaining at all, but I've definitely had like a handful of evenings. It's more like night sickness, not morning sickness, where I just felt like sick, like sort of icky, and not, I don't know how to explain it. Nothing that inhibits me from living my life, but definitely makes me want to just lie down on the couch or go to bed, close my eyes. So I felt a little bit nauseous, and oddly enough, this past weekend on Sunday morning I woke up, I felt normal. I went to the kitchen to start doing the breakfast thing as usual, and then all of a sudden I get this wave of heat. Like, my whole body got super hot and I started sweating, and then I just felt like I was gonna vomit. Like, I got so nauseous, and it's the first time it's happened to me this entire pregnancy, and I thought to myself, is this just nausea or am I actually gonna puke? And it took me about 5 seconds to realize I was actually going to puke. So I ran to the bathroom and I threw up. So I can say now that I've thrown up once during this pregnancy. It was about time. I think I was getting off a little bit too easy with no morning sickness. But you know what, after that one throw up, it was just that one time, I gradually started feeling better, and it hasn't come back. So it was just that once, but it was kind of interesting that here at the very end of my first trimester is when I start getting a little bit of actual morning sickness. So besides that, other symptoms that I've noticed this week, I've been emotional again, and it feels hormonal. Like, it doesn't feel like I have serious psychological issues. It feels like hormones. You know, you can tell the difference when you're like actually depressed or if you're just like weepy about things, and I'm definitely just weepy about things. I've been overreacting a lot to situations and just kind of quick to tears, like in a very hormonal way. So that's been different this week. And then also another thing I've noticed is that the top of my belly, like the top part, if I like overextend my back this way, push out my chest or something like that, I notice when I'm lying down in bed at night, if I sort of like twist in a certain way, I get this pain on the top of my belly. Like, it almost feels like stretching pains. I'm not sure, but that's sort of new as well. Like, I've had just, it's nothing severe, but it's like this uncomfortable feeling. Oh, if anybody does yoga, whenever I do cat and cow, so that the cow position where you like arch your back and your chest is forward like that, it hurts the top of my belly. It feels like it's like stretching it too much. So that's different too. Maybe it means my ligaments are changing and my belly, I mean, it's definitely popped. Maybe it means I'm gonna start getting an even more prominent baby bump in the weeks to come, so that'll be exciting. And then the last possible pregnancy symptom that may or may not be related to pregnancy is that I got this headache yesterday. It's also the first time I've really had a headache during this pregnancy. Some women have headaches throughout. So I got this headache and it just sort of persisted, it got worse. By bedtime I was in a lot of pain and I just went to bed. I thought, okay, hopefully I can sleep this off. And I woke up this morning and it's still there. So I've got this persistent headache and I've been drinking a ton of water to make sure I'm not dehydrated. I really don't think that's the problem. I'm definitely drinking a lot. So yeah, I've got this headache and that may or may not be related to pregnancy, and I'm hoping that it's not the start of persistent headaches because that would suck. So on to diabetes related symptoms. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the baby will start producing its own insulin soon. So it's a load off in some ways for me because I feel like it just means there's a little bit more forgiveness with my blood sugar control. Like I know that I've had probably some overreactions to high blood sugars, and maybe it means now that when I get those slightly higher than normal blood sugars that I don't like, I don't have to worry quite as much because the baby now has the ability to counteract high blood sugars with its own insulin. Other than that, I mean, I have had, there were a couple days this week where I had some high blood sugars. What I mean by high is that it went to 180, and it was kind of hard to get it back down. Like, it took a couple hours to get it back down, and that, you know, it was frustrating. But again, I don't think it's abnormal for type 1s to have a couple highs here and there. I can't imagine. I mean, tell me, if you're a type 1 and you were able to get through your entire pregnancy never having your blood sugar go above 140, tell me. Like, that, I don't even think that's possible. So yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. But in the moment, you know, it's always annoying in the moment because you're like, no, because when you're pregnant, you try extra hard. Like, everything is so much more, like, you're thinking about it a lot more. And at least I'm like trying really hard to keep my blood sugars good and as normal as possible. So when that happens, it's just extra frustrating. But yeah, I'm over it, and I think I'm learning better ways of coping with that. So it's okay. And like I said, I think every single type 1 diabetic woman out there who's ever been pregnant has definitely had at least a handful of high blood sugars during the pregnancy, and it didn't affect anything. So I don't think I have anything to worry about, but that's what's been going on. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick belly shot. I don't know if it's changed much, but I definitely am noticing, you know, like, again, low down, like sort of where my belly button is, and lower, it like pokes straight out right there. So I think that, I do think that that's my uterus. Like, I think that that's my bump starting to grow. So I'll let you decide for yourselves. Alright, so I think that's it for this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. As always, thank you so much for watching my pregnancy updates. It's kind of, it feels like I have support here. Like, I really have loved filming YouTube videos and meeting people because it really does feel like a supportive community. So thanks to everybody who's been so supportive, and so far all of your comments have been really, really nice. A couple of them have even brought me close to tears just because they're so nice, and you know, you read them at the perfect moment. It's like, oh, I needed to hear something nice today. So anyway, thanks so much for all your support, and I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you next week for my second trimester update. Bye!